And we are live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Purple Pill Pod. We got a special men's improvement discussion today with my boy, Humble Dad.
What up?
Y'all make sure to like the video on the way in. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you are ready every time we have these live shows. Follow us on the podcast Instagram as well. I got him tagged right now on my story, so go add him as also. We're now live on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Rumble, and YouTube all at the same time. Go sign up for my mentorship down below. If anybody wants a free consultation, just click the link, book a call with one of my coaches, and then we can help you out maybe. If you want to show support, go to the Patreon or you click the join button right here under YouTube. If you hit the join button, you'll get some emojis for the show. That's probably the best way to do it. Check out the shirts, or you can also go to the streaming platforms or audio streaming platforms if you want to listen at work. Just make sure we're not on the loudspeaker. Make sure to add on Instagram right now though, if you want to help me grow that account and go grow his account also. Thank you so much for coming though, bro. I really appreciate you. I think that we had one of our best shows on Friday because we got to have such a dualistic outlook on everything, because like we probably disagree on a lot of things, but there's one thing that we can heavily agree on, and that's that these bitches need to close their legs. I
just
said
say
that.
women.
Yeah, women, but I say it the derogatory way. You know me. That's what I'm saying.
That's
We're
what I'm saying.
dualistic. We're dualistic, bro.
Absolutely.
I'm always gonna be your your duality.
That's what's up.
Just like on the peep, we're always gonna be duality
That's
a
a
little
fact.
bit. But no, I'm really happy to have you on, bro. I want to learn more about you,
Okay.
learn more about, how you got into the space. Everybody go check him out on YouTube at Humble Dad Guys, and check him out on our Instagram. He's tagged. But yeah, just to start, bro, I just want to know um, your life. I want to know like kind of how you started. Where did you grow up? Were you in a single parent household or dual parent household? All those like type of questions, and what kind of got you up to the point that you're at right now, if you can kind of put it all together.
Man, that's a
It's a heavy question. Yeah.
You know, it's like when you go into an interview and they say, "Tell me about yourself." Right?
Yeah.
Like, where you want me to start?
Elevator pitch. Yeah. Well,
So I'll give you bits and pieces, then you can ask me questions in between as it relates to that. Well, I'm from Dallas, Texas. I went to a different school from kindergarten through 8th grade, right? And I was raised by a single mother. I'm the oldest of three, and didn't really have a lot of connection with my younger siblings because I was a hooper. You know what I'm saying? So I played basketball ever since I was 7. Anybody know what a Fair Park is? That's why I started playing basketball over at Martin Luther King Center.
That's dope.
Yeah, so I am from the hood, but I also when I got older, I moved to the suburbs. So I got the street with me, you know what I'm saying, and then I got the suburban with me, right? And so I think that's why I'm able to kind of be in both lanes. So then I get to college, I go to Stephen F. Austin in Nacogdoches, right?
Nice.
Then I pledged, and that really changed my life as it relates to what men are like, you know, and how to move around women as well as just to move around in life, you know. And then I graduated, came back to Dallas. Eventually, you know, trying to figure things out. Then end up back in Nacogdoches being a sales manager. Right. Then I got married. Was a teacher. Second. Absolutely.
Yeah. I just had to make sure something was on.
Absolutely.
I always forget the button.
Listen. I was doing the stream. 2 weeks in a row, I forgot to hit the go live button.
Dude, well, this one was the audio one. I was like, nobody's here to tell me if the audio's off. Let me double check and make sure the audio's up. You know,
for sure. And so I ended up I got married, in 2007, had kids, and then I was a teacher, right? And then transition. I was telling you earlier, I was into the Christian music, right? And so then I became a teacher because of that, right? Then fast forward, if we get
a teacher for where?
I was a middle school math teacher.
Okay, dope.
Yeah, middle school math teacher.
That's actually, I would like that. I would like that position if I was a teacher.
Oh yeah, you would not want that position.
It was that bad.
It's a stressful position for those.
And what school was it at?
I was in. It was a school called Cushion, and they had like how many students in the whole school? Like 600 from K through 12.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
pretty small.
Mm-hmm. And then I taught special ed in Lufkin. Des Bryant went to Lufkin, so
I know about Lufkin.
Okay, yeah. And so then we came to Dallas because I was in the music. I was in the group, right, and that's why we came to Dallas. And then you know, from there I was like I continued to be a teacher, and then I transitioned to being a professor, right. So I was a college adjunct for about 8 years, and then I transitioned into real estate, right. And so because I saw that teaching wasn't going to be it.
Yeah, for money
wise, right? But as far as the impact, I had a major impact Okay, and so then real estate happened. Then it happened right. I quit teaching the year we call COVID, which is 2020, right? And things went bad for me because I didn't have the same, like most people had to pivot, right?
Yeah.
And for me, my pivot was still trying to stay with real estate. And trying to figure it out. That's what I was trying. And I was getting my doctorate degree at the same time, right? And then let's see. So that's when I started the podcast, Humble Dad.
Okay.
2020. My late wife Jen, she was like, maybe you need to have a pastime because this is really stressing you out. And I was like, okay, I do know I love talking and I love teaching, and I was going to talk to teachers about how to be a better teacher.
Ooh, that's a good one for today.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do. But I was like, I think it's a lot of things out there already, and I want to be different. And so I began to interview dads, right? And so I wanted to change the landscape of what that I knew was that dads were good dads. There were dudes out here that was being good dads, right? Or good fathers, however you want to put it. But the idea was that they're not doing a good job,
especially in the Black community, and the stats show the opposite.
Absolutely.
That's the funniest one.
And I knew nothing about the stats at the time.
Oh, wow.
Right. And so I just knew that the circle of guys that I
anecdotal,
was in,
you're like, I know damn well.
Yeah, right. And so the first thing that I did was I sent out a text to like 10 dudes that I knew. And my uncle, I call him he has a name, but we call him Uncle. You know what I'm saying?
Literally.
Yeah, we call him Uncle, yeah. And he was our father figure, and he's only 14 years older than me, right? And so, but he would teach us different things. And so he responded in less than 3 minutes. And so he said, hey, we don't even talk that much, but he was like, I know if he's reaching out to me, then he wants something that's could be beneficial. He was my first interview, and since then I've interviewed over 100 dads.
That's awesome, dude.
And so the name Humble Dad came about because I was trying to look at, because it was just an interview with a dad. It was like, that's not that, you can't put that on no shirt.
Yeah, right? Humble Dad definitely sounds way better. Bro.
And so my late wife, I was looking at different adjectives, and that's the one that stood out. And that's the thing that most people never said that I am.
Yeah.
Nobody ever says that I'm humble. Yeah. Right. But dads are typically humble because we're typically behind the scenes.
You have to be.
You have to. Yeah. And then you don't really get credit, right? But you do get the blame, right? Whether you're there or you're not, and your kid becomes whoever they are, right? And so my late wife Jenny, she was like, "Oh yeah, that's good." And those that are married, when your spouse doesn't complain about your idea, then it must be a good idea off top.
Oh yeah, dude. Because they're always gonna play skeptical to keep you safe. Correct. Make sure you don't make a mistake.
It makes sense.
A stupid mistake.
It makes sense. And so she ended up also being the person that brought me to know who Kevin Samuels was, right? And so I didn't know nothing about the manosphere. She was really big into knowing about the red pill space, right? And so that's how I got into the manosphere world. Me and her used to connect over Lapeef, Let's Talk, right? And so that's how I got into the space, right? Fast forward, I'm transitioning with my new wife, Kendra, and she's like, maybe you should, kind of have it to where you do a panel discussion. Even though you're interviewing dads, why don't you do a panel discussion and have the men and women talking about marriages, because that's what you're trying to get to again, right? And so that's where I am right now. Is that on Monday nights at 9 p.m. Central, we talk about different topics, whether it's marriage, family, or relationships, and so that's where we are right now. And
you can't stay narrow to just dads whenever you can help in so many other categories, man. You got to like branch out and do everything.
Yeah,
like that's what you'll learn with these panel shows. And like it was so cool that you've had all this practice just with the online panels, because when you came to this live panel, you killed it because you've been doing this for so long, like on the screen, like would you say that there's a huge difference between like the live panel like with the girls here versus like if you've done a panel on your show with women like online? Like do you think that you get to debate your points better, or they get to understand them better, or anything?
I would say it depends on the woman.
True.
Does that make
because some are more receptive than others. Yeah.
Right. And there are women that are going to in my opinion, obviously it's going to be my opinion, that remain in their feminine frame. They're that regardless.
Yeah.
Right. And they're receptive whether they're in person or online, right? And so, but I would say that for me, it's better in person. Matter of fact, what's crazy is like with Kendra, my wife, she's like when we met, we was talking online, right? And we got into it, and I was like, man, we need to meet in person because I don't think you really understanding what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right. She said that I was running game. Right. Yeah. But I really was like, I want you to understand what I'm saying, and you can see me in person. And so when she saw me in person, she could see my personality totally is different than what's on behind the phone.
What were y'all debating?
You want to know what we was doing?
Yeah, I'm honestly really curious. Like what was?
So we was okay.
Hey, shout out to Michael Sartain jumping on for a second.
I've heard that since 9th grade.
How crazy! Hey, Michael, thanks for pulling up, man. You had to pull up just to call him.
I've heard that since 9th grade, bro.
I'm not surprised at all. You really do got the look, dude.
I appreciate that, man. I don't even count that as an insult at all. You know what I'm saying? And so we met on what was it? We was in a group called Black Dallas. Shout out to Black Dallas. Didn't even know why I joined the group or whatever. But anyway, I had posted something that said, women, based on how you dress is how dudes are going to approach you. You know what I'm saying? Those are the type of dudes that are going to approach you. And it was because of a previous post, right? And so she was one of the first people to respond. We went back and forth like 11 times, though. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a debater. I'm a conversationalist as well, depending on who the person is, right? Yeah. And so that's what the conversation was about. And then I was like, why don't we talk offline? It seems like we're agreeing but disagreeing, and she was able, and I thought that she had a very good conversation, but at the same time, I saw her using capital letters and periods in her responses. Like most people don't pay attention. I pay attention to that.
Yeah, you're like she actually cares about her image.
Correct.
Because some people care about their image and how people see them as intelligent or dumb or yeah. That's rare today.
You feel
definitely rare.
Absolutely. And so that's what we were talking about. And so when I hit her in the back chat, she ghosted me, right? And then I came back, and then we talked 4 hours that night. And the question that we was talking about is how women are perceived and how women carry themselves and things of that nature. And so we've talked every day since that particular day.
That's crazy. Hey, shout out to Lapeef also, man.
What's up, Lapeef?
What's up, bro? So something that we actually, shout out to Michael and Rolo. Something that Rolo sometimes talks about is that, and I take this personally as well, is that it's a Gammamail trait to teach women the game. Okay. To like tell them like the game, because like it ruins the fantasy, like it ruins like the vibe, as they would call it, or something, and and he describes Gammamails as, because everybody has different things that they call things, but like he describes it as like the nerdy guy from high school is like the Gammamails, and it's like a nerdy trait to do something like that, like. And I think that like it is a nerdy trait to want to tell the women the game, but at the same time, like you can put some riz behind it. Like you could talk it in a way where like you're not kind of nerdy about it. Like you're not just laying out facts and you're like saying it to like bring them to like a different conclusion, And I feel like guys like you, I'm trying to learn this, but like are really good at making it a non-Gammamail trait. Like you're showing that like just really good like guys of any caliber can like teach this type of stuff, but it's about how you say it, Okay, we always have these debates on these shows, like men are really logical, women are emotional, so like we kind of need to talk to them in a different tone or like say things in a different way to like make them happy, whereas as I like to just go the full masculine route and just yell at them. But you saw, I've changed a couple girls' lives, and it's from my energy like that. Yeah. And we had kind of said, like I had said on the show, I think for some women, yours works, but you were right. Like all women listen to like your way. Like your way will definitely reach all of them, and my way will only reach maybe half or less.
And the issue for me is that I need to learn how to do that with my wife.
because well, I don't think it's possible, dude. No, because
it gotta be possible, bro.
No, so I'll admit to you, I can't have these conversations. Like my girlfriend is a hardcore feminist. Like she is very much against like everything that is red pill, and sometimes like she wants a conservative life. She lives a very conservative life. Everything she does is
Shout out to the girlfriend.
Is very red pill woman, but she's just but at the end of the day, she disagrees with a lot of the stuff that's said, you know, and it's just and I agree like on some things. Like I understand like what bothers her, you know, like the men cheating and stuff. But I always like to bring up, you know, I'm just stating the facts. Like, don't shoot the messenger. I'm not a cheater. Like, and I encourage my guys to not be cheaters, especially guys that go through my program and stuff. I don't want men to cheat because I know what comes with it.
Correct.
Like, it's just bullshit. That like now, if you're making $500,000 a year and you're that guy and you don't care about what comes with it and like you can replace your girl easily, then I'm not going to sit there and I don't shame those guys. Like I always tell the girls on the show. Yeah. You see, like, so like, this is the way I see it is like, do you shame a woman who's hypergamous though?
Do I shame a woman who's hypergamous?
Where like she's always where she's always where she's all but like maybe she's a super gold digger. Like she's always super going across and up the hierarchy. Like she's like maybe like would you shame a woman that way? Because so the way I see it is like it's a very natural thing for a woman to be hypergamous because it all goes back to her preparing for if she's going to have a baby. Like the whole reason hypergamy is a thing is because, you know, 100,000 years ago, if she had a baby and the dude ran off, she was dead and the baby was going to be dead too.
Okay.
So the hypergamy is like something that was a need and I'm okay with that. It makes men better too. Like I like hypergamy. I don't think it's if anything, it makes me a better boyfriend every day because I know I need to be the best I can be. I need to always step up.
Okay.
So like I don't get mad also because that's a nature thing. I also don't get mad at those top 5, 4, you know, women swipe on the top 4.5% of men. Those top 5% guys, I don't shame them for getting a lot of women and doing that because I can't control them. Like I honestly don't know what it feels like to have 10 girls throwing themselves at me a week, and I don't like I can't even fathom it. And I know how hard it would be if one did. Or if one did every month, it would be really hard. So I can't imagine if it was like 10 or 5 a week, you know? So I don't like to shame those guys because it's just nature. Now, will I tell them you shouldn't do that and it's going to hurt you? Yes. I'll give you a prescription all day long that's against what you're doing, but I'm not going to shame them. Just like I'm not going to shame the gold digger women or the women that like are hypergamous because it's like, I don't blame you. Your guy is broke now or he's a loser. Like, I don't want you to be with a loser either, kind of, you know? And it's like, so like that's why when it comes to, that's the only time where like I accept it too. There's no other things of like the men and female nature where I'm like, that's the, like every time the women I bring up hypergamy, I always bring up, it's the same for the guys that sleep around in my eyes. Like that's one of those hard nature things that we can't fight in my eyes.
Okay. That's okay. So if so the woman is hypergamous. I'm shaming both if we're going to use the terminology because it's on intent. Now, if she is trying to go after this dude, you know, we know celebrities that do this, right? You know, it's one young lady out there. I don't know if I can say her name, but you know, Brittany
Renner.
Okay, Brittany Renner, right?
Yeah.
She specifically says this is what she's doing.
Yeah.
Okay, she should be shamed for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, the guy that's I would say a guy like Sean Kemp who has like I think he had like 7 kids by 7 different baby moms, or even Future, right?
Yeah.
Shaming Future or Nick Cannon.
Yeah.
Yes, these dudes have the options to have this, right? But they are also leaving a trail of fatherless kids to a degree, so they should be shamed. Now, if you're being honest, right, with the woman, and you don't impregnate her, right, but you're being honest, then I'm not going to shame you. But if you're cheating on her,
and making families,
then
making kids everywhere,
that's a problem because now you're doing something really bad. In my opinion.
So like in the red pill community, there's like a big divide between like guys that believe in like the sister wife things because you know they're living in these fantasy worlds that they're going to have stuff like this one day.
Okay.
And like some of them like to debate like if they're going to be a guy that has, you know, 2 or 3 women as like their wives and they all live together and like it's a sister wives thing and like they all have kids and they all live together and they all work together and stuff. And then some are like, no, I want to have like my main wife and I'm going to have bitches on the side. Like I'm going to have these other girls on the side that I don't really give anything else to, but they like, you know, I just fuck them, I guess, or whatever. And when it comes to that divide, would you say one of those is more morally right and one of them is more morally wrong? Like I know you personally probably wouldn't do either one of them or think either one of them's right, but would you say one of them is on a more moral high ground than the other?
Honest, if they're being honest, right? That's all I can say. It is in the form of morality. Now, if we're talking about morality, my morality is from a biblical perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and so in the culture of where we are now, it says that we should only if we in the New Testament, it says to have one wife.
Yeah, and
right?
the only exception is whenever whenever your brother's
That would be
whenever your brother dies and then his wife is widowed.
right,
Yes, yeah.
right. And so I would say that I wouldn't suggest it because it's a lot to keep up with one woman.
I agree with you, bro.
It's a lot.
It's the truth. Nobody likes to admit it, but it is so true.
It's a lot. So if you want more, that's on you, right?
Yeah.
And you should be honest with them and let them know what the deal is up front, right?
Yeah. And I would say that's like what most of
that.
I would say that's what most red pill community says to do. Also, like they're being honest. Like a lot of them are just switching to Islam right now. Like the thing is, and it's like Islam can have multiple wives, so they're like, yeah, let's go to Islam. I can have the multiple wives, and they can have their 3 wives. You know, as if they're gonna make enough money to actually house all 3 of them. You know, fairly and stuff. And it also like the debate also comes back to like a lot of grape, a lot of sexual assault or SA, just a lot of bad stuff that usually happens in divorced or broken apart homes, and it's usually that new boyfriend or that new person, you know. And so like when it comes to those type of things, a lot of them on that side of the internet, they like to say, well, it's better for like she's already gonna technically have a sister wife. It's just y'all don't live under the same house. Y'all have separate bills, and one of the children's not safe because one of them's potentially around a potential predator. Gotcha. You know, so like sometimes they would say, you know, when the families are split right now, when the nuclear family is so divided and stuff, this is a solution possibly, you know, is like the multiple women thing. Do you think that like that's even a thing that could happen over the next decade? Like it's going to be accepted at all? Like polygyny in the way where it's like the guy with multiple women thing?
I don't think that it would be acceptable. I mean, the reason why I don't think it would be acceptable is because most guys are not able to do it, right? And then women want you to be monogamous, right? The majority of women want you to be monogamous. So why would they then say, you know what, I'm cool with another guy taking care of his main chick and then having me on the side? Now, don't get me wrong, there are women that are out there that are like that, but what I've seen, I don't know these people, but just watching from afar, it's a younger woman that would maybe say that currently that they would be okay with an older man or a man having a wife and then she being the side chick.
Yeah, true.
Right.
And she's gonna wake up sooner or later to it.
Correct. Because at some particular point in time, she's gonna want to be the main chick.
Yes. She can't. Yeah, I agree with you.
Because we treat our main chick different.
Yep, and they know that.
So I'm not saying like I'm only gonna have one, right? And my late wife passed, but I'm fortunate enough to have a dope wife now, right? And that doesn't always happen, right? So I'm saying I wouldn't want to have 2 in the house. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or take care of 2, because now your money thin.
Yeah.
Right. And so that I would say that it's not going to be a trend, but that's just me.
Yeah. I really think women can't accept stuff like that unless the guy is like a stupid money maker, like he's like insane, because they're always going to worry about their provisioning, like in their security. Like a woman's going to worry about her provisioning and security, just like how you're worried about her sexual loyalty. Correct. Like those are she needed to rely on that to survive 100,000 years. We need to rely on her sexual loyalty at the 100,000 years ago. Like it's never going to go away. Here's a very good point. Here's a good question from King of Leo. What is 1 or 2 things men can do to increase the probability of staying married to their wives?
Oh, that's a dope question.
That's a really good one.
What is 1 or 2 things men can do to increase the probability of staying married to their wives? I would say be a great leader is one. How do you become a great leader? You need to have your faith in something. For me, my faith is in Christ, right? And because of that, I'm able to say I know how to be submissive to him. So I understand what it looks like to be a leader. So my expectation and my wife is going to be submissive to me. It is going to look something similar, right? Number 2, you want to find out what her goals are and look for ways for them to fit into yours. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So because what I would understand is that women are cool with helping you, but they also want you to reciprocate that. You know what I'm saying?
1,000%.
So as
you got to be a hard worker.
Yeah.
You can't be weak in the working area as a guy.
Correct.
Especially in marriage, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You got to work even harder, even more trash to take out.
Yeah. So I would say to make yourself so valuable to her that she sees that anything else doesn't even make sense.
Yeah. I think a lot of guys today have this weird tit for tat mentality, or maybe it was video games or something, like kind of gives you this mentality where like you can be lazy, and like I just don't think you can at all. I think in a relationship, there's no time. Like I don't watch TV, honestly. Like I don't do anything. And don't get me wrong, I have a little bit of time for that, but it would be a very small amount. It'd be maybe 30 minutes or an hour a night, and like. But the reality is there's always a lot that needs to be done, especially when you have families, especially when you have kids, especially when you have stuff to do. Like, and you can't be the weak guy that's like being like, oh, I don't want to do that. You can't be that guy.
Yeah.
Because it's going to literally make her like not like you anymore.
Yes. You always got to be improving yourself, and I also the other thing that I would say too is figure out how to argue.
Right? Yeah. The correct holding frame the right way.
Yeah, man. Because if you argue the wrong way, that makes her feel insecure, or that makes her feel that you don't love her like you say you do, right? So that's why for me, I try not to yell. It takes a lot for me to yell, because, and I had to learn this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I had to learn that if I'm going to talk to, as the Bible says, the weaker vessel, and it's only meaning from a not psychological, but from an emotional standpoint, right? That they're emotional, so they're going to respond based on what it is they hear.
True.
Right, and your volume and your tone could help. They may misinterpret what you're saying
just based
on
off
your
of
tone.
that.
You see what I'm saying? And so that's why I was saying to you, remember on Friday how I was talking to her?
Yeah.
Right. I was talking to her in a soft tone, right? And I didn't elevate my voice. But if you go back and watch it, I was cynical at times.
Yeah.
Right. And she couldn't really do anything about it because the things I was saying were factual. But if I was yelling, now she's gonna focus on me yelling at her.
And now you're an asshole, or now you're like that mean man.
Yes.
Yeah, you're the typical masculine figure of an asshole.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely.
King of Leo again. Myron got like 3 to 4 girls now. He barely has enough energy to do a show. At least his demeanor seems to have changed lately. I haven't really watched their shows, so I wouldn't know that if that's true. But that's crazy if his energy's down. I feel like he should have good energy. I don't know if he's on TRT, but that fool works out all the time. I feel like you should have good energy if you sleep a lot and you work out good. I don't know. I'm just now learning about all this workout shit now.
And eating well.
Yeah, eating well, of course. Yeah. I want to ask, like in the household, like you were talking about, like with your wife, it's hard to get her to like have these discussions or like agree with you on certain things like this. Would you say?
Agree with me on what?
Like red pills or like all this type of stuff, like relationship stuff. Like, would you say that when it comes to those discussions, is there a lot of we agree to disagree, or is there a lot of actually convincing each other? Because I feel like in mine, there's a lot of agree to disagree. Like, there's very few times where like we're gonna come together and like agree on something. Like, especially when it comes to these type of discussions. When types like don't get me wrong, around the house, it's very clearly like, okay, yeah, we should do this. It's not that hard. But when we have these type of discussions, it's like butting heads.
Oh man, that's a good question. My wife, she really would be a good. I've been trying to get her on the show, do her own, because she's really good at being in the middle. Like, she's really good at checking women, and she does, and checking men. You know what I'm saying? Not that she's gonna check me, but what I'm saying is she's able to see, oh, okay, I can see he was right there. I can see where she was right there. I can see where he was wrong, and I can see where she was wrong. So sometimes, or when we're dialoguing, we are in somewhat of agreement, right, as it relates to how we may see red pill, right? And so, but if as far as convincing, what I've come to learn and understand is that if it's not important enough that's about our family, then we're not gonna spend a lot of energy on arguing about it.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Yeah, and so that's what I had to learn, because I'm argumentative to a degree.
That's how I am too. Yeah.
I'm argumentative to a degree, but I don't want to. I don't want to have an argument with my wife that's going to lead to something that wasn't meant to be. Right?
Yeah, there's no reason to rock the boat.
Correct. We can argue about things that are affecting the family, You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But if that guy over there want multiple wives, you know
Just
what
let
I'm
him go.
saying? Okay, let him
Let's
have
not
multiple
argue about this no more. Yeah,
absolutely.
it ain't where it's like. But you said that you agreed with this. Or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, no, yeah.
Which is crazy because that's how we met.
Yeah,
You see?
yeah, no, it's crazy how opposites we are, but we
Yeah.
could still. I don't care what anybody says today. Like, it's easy to have a relationship because it's not hard to come to these compromises. In my opinion, like it's really easy to just be an understanding person and respect somebody else
Yeah.
for their own opinion. And if I think that you're a bad person in a way, if it's hard for you to have a relationship, because it means you don't know how to compromise, you don't know how to like be respectful of somebody's other opinions. Like, I really think there's just a bunch of red flags that we see when somebody can't be in a relationship.
That's good.
Like, and like that's why this whole show. I gotta ask, like, really quick. Do you know why I named my show Purple Pill Pod?
I would think that red and blue make purple.
Okay, well, that's what most people would say, and like I kind of like to play off that term, like for sure. I'm a very balanced person in the middle. Like my parents divorced when I was little, and my mom went and like remarried like a white redneck dude, and my dad, who's Hispanic, went like married like he's very liberal, and like my mom like basically was very Republican. My dad was very liberal, and like I got to see everything. I got to go hunting with him, but my dad hated guns, and it's just like I got to like do a lot. I got to experience a lot of the back and forth, you know, and like the disagreements my whole life.
Yeah.
Between them, and they hated each other too. It was the worst like co-parenting situation anybody should go through. But it taught me a lot. It was a good teaching lesson. But back to like why I started the show as Purple Pill Pod. There's a guy named AMS I love called Alpha Male Strategies. I love him, and the reason why is because like everything I think that he says is usually really based in fact. It's really based off his experience. He's a 6'4" black dude that easily gets women. Like he's that guy. You know what I'm saying? So like I know he's not bullshitting when he says stuff, and he has a lot of followers because he's really good at game.
Okay.
He's that guy for game, and he always says purple pill is a guy who's red pill but still decides to be in relationships. So like because if you notice in the red pill community, all these dorks really don't want to be in relationships. Like they think women are all gonna hypergamous, they're gonna cheat on me, or you know, like there's just so many reasons for them to be insecure and just never want to be in a relationship. And I'm the opposite. It's like I know all these facts and I'm okay with it. And like I'm not gonna be that y'all are insecure because you actually suck. Like you probably should step up in certain categories. And another thing is like a lot of them are focused on gym stuff. Don't get me wrong, the gym is a huge deal. Guys definitely need to focus on fitness today. I'm very privileged to not be one of the overweight men in the world because I know 80-90%, like a lot of people are overweight or like have those issues. Very blessed to not be one of them. I'm not gluttonous asshole like most people. But like I really think provisioning is like the biggest issue. Like people need to figure out their money issues more than anything today because like they could have good relationships if they were the provider they need to be, but it's just hard to do that. And these women are more hypergamous than ever because they get on Instagram, they see the Lambos, they see all this shit. So it's like the hypergamy is like at a all-time high. So you need, and then inflation's at an all-time high. But at the same time, you got to be a guy that's at an all-time high. You need to be the best guy physically possible, literally, and especially financially. And that's where like I disagree with a lot of them. Like I think they create a lot of gym cells sometimes. That's why I started this show was because it's just like a lot of guys are just kind of being led astray. Where it's like you need more spirit. You need to focus more on your spiritual. You need to focus more on your relationships with people, especially with women. How to be friends with them, like how to do all this type of stuff because you're not going to get in relationships. And if we don't get in relationships, the world's going to fuck up. Because like we need nuclear families and like they want us single because then we don't buy houses.
Absolutely.
Then we go on vacations and spend money. Up. Yeah, and we spend money on a bunch of bullshit when we're single. Like when you're single, you spend money on bullshit. It's especially women, dude. Makeup and like think about it, if you're sitting there trying to always look good for the men to always try to find a new guy, they're gonna spend all types of money on makeup and they want the women single so bad because they spend so much money.
Listen, I can't go against the makeup. My wife does makeup.
Oh, dude, no. So
we have makeup certification school. You know
so my girl actually does makeup too, but it's like for like a different like a brand. Like, but she does makeup too.
That's crazy.
I know, but she also crochets though, so I'm not gonna say she just.
Shout out to those that do makeup. Yeah. Right, but know that most men are not concerned about you wearing makeup. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and shout out to KSBS Studios. You know what I'm saying? That's my wife's.
Yeah, shout out to them. Everybody needs to go look that up. But yeah, that's Purple Pill, bro. Like I'm like my biggest stance of this show is relationships. We need relationships, and if you could always come back and help me push these women into getting into relationships, bro, we're going to do my goal and we're going to save the world. Yeah. And it's like what I was talking about on the show. Like if we get them to close their legs, the men have to become better. And like, I know I'm going to piss off a lot of incels. I'm going to piss off a lot of red pill guys saying stuff like that because they're like, it's already hard to get pussy. Why you got to make it even harder? And it's
but that doesn't make it harder.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't even care if it makes it harder.
But I'm saying, I'm saying that it doesn't make it harder, right? When you are able to control yourself sexually, it makes it better for you because one, you're having discipline, right? And when you have discipline sexually, you can definitely put that in other places. Because I was having a hard time with that, coming out of a situation, being married, and then getting and trying to be in the in between stage. Like, it's hard to have dick discipline. You know what I'm saying? I get it. However, what I do understand when you do have it, that the woman respects you different. She looks at you differently as well, as opposed to you're always trying to go get it.
Yeah, no. So like another thing that I teach very heavily on this show is like holding frame and never chasing. Like I don't chase. Like I'm very against chasing women because to me, simping is just an unequal exchange of value. Now, don't get me wrong. You need to give a little bit to get back in the beginning with relationships, but there's tons of women today that will go on 5 dates with a guy and never give anything. So it's like I always.
What should she give?
What?
What should she be giving?
Well, I kiss at least.
Oh,
that's why I mean. Like some guys are so bad at the simp stuff that they will literally buy them bags, like do a bunch of stuff, and they never get anything.
She should kiss you after 5 dates.
Oh, dude, I me personally, bro, it better be after 1 or 2. Honestly,
why she have to kiss you?
Because like I just need I need proof that like this is gonna go somewhere. So this is where we're probably gonna butt heads really hard. Well, like because like it like Rollo Tomasi and like the Rational Male and like the red pill space, they're always gonna say, a woman that makes you wait it's never worth the wait. That's like one thing that they say. Another thing is
they base that on what though?
Huh? I could tell you based off experience that I actually agree with that one. But that's just me personally. So like this is where it's gonna get really, really different for us is because like when I coach guys, like don't get me wrong, I tell these girls to keep their lids closed, but when I coach guys, I want guys to find a woman that has burning, genuine desire for them. Don't get me wrong, it's very hard to find it, but when you do, it's some Bonnie and Clyde shit. It feels really good to have a woman that is a ride or die for you and will do anything for you. Like I'm talking the like what I was talking to the girls about at the table, like that true devotion that a lot of them are scared to give again. And it's sadly to get that sometimes, usually in today's girls, especially the girls under 25, which are the ones that are easiest to get the devotion out of because they haven't gone through as much trauma usually. Those girls, like I want them to sleep with me as fast as possible because I know they have burning, genuine desire.
That doesn't make sense.
Here, but no, I'll explain to you. Because say she has an 11, 12, 15 body count, okay? And every one of those guys, or say at least half of those guys she let hit on the first night. Okay. And then she gets to you at like 13 or 14. And she's like, I'm changed now. I'm making guys wait. Do you think that she's going to have just as good, burning, awesome, loving sex and like love you the same, have the same burning, genuine desire for you that she made wait 6 months or 3 months or even 1 month as the guys those 6, 7 guys that she let hit on the first night?
Yes.
How?
Because if you're having a conversation with a woman and you're intellectual, she'll fall in love with you in other aspects of who you are, and so that makes the sexual encounter totally different because she's not just making love or having sex with you because you're attractive. She's having sex with you because she's physically and emotionally attracted to you. So that's why it would be different.
Would you say that there's like an animal instinct though that we are sexual animals? Like like they're like we try our best. Yeah, but what?
We're mammals.
Yeah. But like in Christianity, we give prescriptions. Like we try to make people the best as possible. Like I truly believe that's the whole point of religion. We're trying to become as perfect as we can, and there's good reasons for it. There's good reasons for us to abstain. There's good reasons for us to not have sex. It's very healthy. It's super healthy for our mental health, our love, and everything. But the reality of the world is most people aren't abstaining. Most people have they're having sex. Like most people are sleeping around. So once you get to a certain point, it's very hard for you to have that burning, genuine desire for something. Like these women, like I talk to them, I've experienced this a lot personally too, very anecdotal. And these women who make you wait, they don't love you the same. I've been in relationships with women that made me wait, and I've been in relationships with women that didn't. And it's a completely black and white situation. And like we can even look at Dr. David Buss. Like everything that I go back to, I'm like Rollo gets a lot of his stats, a lot of the stuff in the red pill sphere. It mostly comes from Dr. David Buss, The Evolution of Desire. He has multiple books. He's a professor down in Austin, Texas. I would highly suggest reading them, or even Hormonal. That was written by a woman, and she talks about like the hormone cycle for women. Another book by Hector Garcia, Alpha God. There's a lot of really good books that can show you that sex is a very much animal instinct, and like we can try to be good. Like, don't get me wrong, I love religion, I love the prescriptions that religion give, but we're living in an animalistic society right now, so we have to factor that into our prescriptions. Like,
you think that hasn't been before? You think that?
Oh yeah, Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah, of course, yeah, yeah.
But even outside of that, though, like the reason why, for example, in certain parts of the scripture, it's telling you to be abstinent is because of not just, I mean, it's a soul tie, one, and it's very possible y'all not gonna get married. Yeah. Right. So you're telling me that the sooner that she has sex with you, right, that makes it more of her going to be more loyal to you.
It's not more loyal. No, it's more burning, genuine desire.
So what's the point if it's a burning desire that doesn't lead to marriage? What's the point?
It can lead to. Who said that it wouldn't lead to marriage?
Because you said that because you're saying that in your personal experience you've seen the passion. Mm-hmm. You're not married.
Because I still choose at the end of the day. Men are the ones who put the ring on the finger of the woman. So if I say that you're not worthy, I don't have to give you the ring. Women are the ones who are fighting for the rings today, not the men.
That's why,
like especially if you're a valuable guy. If you're a guy who is lucky to get something, don't get me wrong. You're going to be lucky to get whatever you get. But if you're a guy who easily has options, you're never going to sit there and take a girl after you notice that. You got to understand, women can put a face up and say they're one thing, and then you find out literally some of them can keep it up for a year. And then you find out they're a whole different person.
I'm not disagreeing with that part. What I'm saying is that your statement is, we're talking about sex. If she gives it up on the first night, okay, now you're not going to marry her. Okay, it's possible that more than likely you're not going to marry her.
Why would I not marry her though? I'm confused.
Because you would see. Why would you? I'm saying most of the times you're not. It's I would say that it's more rare.
If the woman is worthy, I would definitely marry her. Like, I don't think a girl is a hoe just because she sleeps with me on the first night at all.
But that, okay, if you say so. Okay, so what I'm saying is that if she is sleeping with you on the first night, she knows literally nothing about you. So she's only sleeping with you because she's physically attracted to you.
Well, sometimes they know a little. Like, we're gonna say that, like, this isn't like she goes to a bar and she sees a hot guy and she makes out with him and has sex with him. Like, in most situations where
you don't want to talk about reality.
Well, no, in reality, because this is how it usually. This is how it usually happens. Don't get me wrong. There are first night stands like that, but how they usually work, like, and this is from somebody that's dated a lot over the last like 5-6 years. It's like, you know each other, we're in each other's friend groups, like we know each other's friends and stuff like that. Okay. And then y'all go out on, like, so they know a little bit about you. Like, she knows a little bit about my life. It's not like I was just a random person. But as far as on the first date, yes, you learn more about each other and then you end up sleeping with each other.
Right, but she's having sex with you on the first night because she's attracted to you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. She doesn't really know anything about you.
Well, they can know more. Like, she definitely understood what I did for work. Like, even on like before my girl slept with me, it's not like she just was thought physically attracted to me. She knew everything about my work. She knew everything about my, like, a lot about like my friend group. She knew a lot about me. It wasn't like it was like a just how you looks thing. You can't simplify it that easily.
Why not? I'm saying.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Some women do sleep around like that. Like, they will go to a bar, see a hot guy, fuck him, and it's a whole looks thing, or maybe he has status there or something.
But I would say that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. The statement was that they have a burning,
genuine
desire for you. So that genuine desire is a physical attraction. Mm-hmm. Right. And I'm saying, but that doesn't breed that she is wifeable. That doesn't mean that she wants to be your wife. That doesn't mean that you would want to be her husband. That's just a genuine physical attraction most times. And I'm saying that to say, make the dude wait, because y'all gonna learn a lot about each other, and you don't have the connection of a sexual situation that makes it more complicated. Because a woman doesn't want to. No, I won't say. I'm just speaking in general terms. Most women don't want to feel like they're a piece of meat, right? And so if you're gonna because this is what dudes are saying, nah, you need to sleep with me in order for me to know if it's gonna be good or not. Well, that's not how it works. Like, because for centuries, in any religion that you look at, they don't want you to have sex before marriage. Yeah. So it's not just connected to Christianity; it's across the board.
Yeah, just religion in general.
Period. Yeah. Why? And they have the reason, because a physical and a spiritual connection that you having with another person, and you're probably going to compare that to another person, right? That's why the statistics are what they are. If they both are virgins, when they get married, they have a better chance of
80% of the success.
So then why would she need to sleep with you on the first night?
You're a stats guy. This is what I'm saying. I completely agree with you, but you're living in a delusional world that people are all these. Delusion. Well, but you have this idea that everybody has under 5 bodies or something. It's just not true. You gotta understand, this is where it gets disrespectful, and this is where the church is really fucked up today. Okay. I'm talking really fucked up, and it's very messed up. They're pushing guys with 1, 2, 3 bodies and no experience in relationships, no experience in life, into relationships with these women at the church that got 10, 20, 30, 40 bodies, who are saved, born again Christians, trying to be trying to make these, and this is a setup that is ruining men to where men are now fleeing the church. Now, I'm not saying all men. Some churches are growing like crazy. There's lots of men going, but there is a lot of guys that are fleeing to Islam, a lot of guys that are fleeing the church completely, and it's all because of this situation where we're telling women who have literally let every dude on the football team hit, and then they're trying to tell this dude who has no life experiences, you need to wait now for 3 years and marry her, and then you can have sex with her. And that's ignorant. That's what makes no sense. Okay, if somebody has gone through all that, we shouldn't be pairing those people together. And these pastors, these churches are doing this really messed up stuff. Huh?
Where's this at?
I see it every day.
Give me one. What are you talking about?
The Oaks Fellowship is where I used to go, and I have a lot of friends that fell into that exact trap that I just said. Okay. So and the thing is, it happens very often because today it's very easy for women to get sex. So women go through their hosts. Yeah, you're right. But today, especially with the internet, I think we can agree that because of ever since the advent of the internet and social media and dating apps, women can get way higher bodies ran up way quicker.
Okay.
So because of that, it's a way different ball game. And I definitely think 20, 30 years ago, this wasn't even these things were things, but they weren't nearly as bad. Everything has been exaggerated to a really bad stance right now, to where we have to find new solutions. I preach the Christian solution 1,000%. If the guy is saying, if the woman,
well, it's not just a Christian solution.
Well, no, I'm just saying the religious solution. Okay. Period. The religious solution of everybody staying low and doing all that. I'm the biggest preacher of it, bro. But I live in a reality where everybody has high body counts.
But that doesn't make sense.
What do you mean?
The reason why it doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so if you say, well, this is the reality, but then we need a solution, but we're only going based on reality, then you don't want a solution.
What do you mean?
Because the solution is that you need to stop you should not have sex before marriage. That's the solution, right? And then when you say, well, the reality is that everybody is having sex. Okay, the solution is stop. Right? There is a standard, regardless of that reality is going on, what things are going on, that's what it is. They're having a sexual revolution. But the standard should be not to have sex before marriage.
So you think a woman who's had 30 bodies, okay, and then she goes and ends up with a dude who's with 3 or 4, and she makes him wait for 3 years, or she makes him wait 2 years until she's a born again virgin, okay? She wants to
that's
wait.
Not a thing, but
okay, but say she just wants to make this guy wait a long time. You don't think it's damaging when she gave it up multiple times to say 12, 15 guys on the first night? You think it's mentally healthy for her to go marry a guy who barely has any experience, okay? And he's waited a long time. You think she's going to have the same sexual desire and passion and the love in that relationship that another woman with way less bodies and way less trouble would have?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Well, that's what's happening. But that's why I'm trying to prove that's what's happening, though.
That's not what's happening.
I see it happen every day. I see guys with no experience pairing up with women with way more experience every day. That's the issue. Is that guys are not
so
going
what's
to.
The solution then?
We're not. What I'm saying is that most guys are not going to wait for hoes. That's the issue.
So
basically all the hoes are going to end up single. Well, no, the ones that sleep around are, which is you got to understand. There's a lot of women with cluster B disorders today. So any woman with a cluster B disorder, which is probably anywhere from 10 to 20% of the population, those women are stuck in the cycle of having sex. Cluster B disorders like histrionic personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, psychopathy, sociopath. All those things are all cluster Bs.
Okay.
But so. There's a big chunk, and those are the people that are hypersexual, and the thing is, all the hypersexual
70% are not.
Most, way more. No, 80% probably aren't.
So 80% aren't. So guys, why don't you do a better job of vetting? Guys, why don't you ask legitimate questions? Guys, why don't you have an actual plan in place?
Well, it's about having a girl that really loves you. The problem is these guys end up in relationships with women. They're married for 3 years, and the woman's like, "Wow, why does my vagina not get turned on by you anymore?" And it's like, "Oh, because there's animal instincts."
That's
Like,
not the reason why people are getting divorced. That's not the main reason.
a lot of it is sexual. It's financial, and then sexual incompatibility, like or what's it called? Like where you have differences or whatever. And that's usually
irrecyclable.
And doesn't that not fall in the category of sexual like differences?
I don't know. I mean, because I wish I could think of
Irrevert. Yeah, I can't think of the word either. Yeah.
Irrecycle. I'm saying recycle, but it's not.
Irreconcilable.
Listen,
Yeah, differences.
Hey, irreconcilable.
Several
times. Well, they're saying that they don't want to say what it is. That's what that means. It's saying that it's something that it is, but I don't want to talk about it. Right. And then there's also people who get divorced because of course, money reasons, or somebody cheated. Right. Those are kind of like the top two, from my understanding. But the question is, before you get married, what is going on in the relationship prior? Okay. So can you guarantee that your marriage is going to last forever? There are no guarantees in life, period. Right. But what you can do is put things in place that will prohibit that from happening. Right. Are both of you all willing to talk about and make it happen? What is the conversation before y'all got married? Did y'all talk about that y'all not, like, divorce is not an option, yet y'all gonna work through every situation, every complication? Right. Did you say hard line, listen, I'm leaving if you cheat on me? You know what I'm saying? That is my hard line. Right. I can work through anything else, but if you cheat on me, then that means that you don't want to be in this relationship. That's what I'm saying. So if you're not sexually attracted to me anymore, there are things called toys, right? And there are things called books that you can read to get yourself in a place that you want to try different things. Maybe y'all need to go on a vacation or something, right? But there's so many different ways of making sex better in your relationship that it shouldn't be an issue.
I agree. Like, I definitely think you gotta spice stuff up, and you gotta always keep it changing. But like, this is the problem becomes when you're negotiating that genuine desire, like chore play. When the woman's like, "Oh, well, if you go mow the lawn, then I'll do it with you," you know. And like Rolo talks a lot about this. Like, and it's not genuine. Then it's not genuine. Like, and this is the issue in the household, in most Christian households today, or not most, but I'm just gonna say a lot of people complain about this, is that you're supposed to, because it says in the verse, like, my body is yours and your body is mine, except for when we're worshiping.
Yeah.
And how many times are women like, no, I still don't want to do it now.
I don't know that problem.
Yeah. Well, that's good for you. But
I've never known that problem.
A lot of guys, like, though, are dealing with those problems, though, you know. And a lot of this goes back to that animal instinct. I would love for you to read Dr. David Buss's books, because he did a study across 37 cultures.
Okay.
It's not like he sat there and tried to pigeonhole like just native people or just like the Scandinavian countries that are equal. And like, when you really see how our animal instincts are, because we were, you know, like how we were for hundreds of thousands of years, it's really easy to see that sometimes women do, and it's not all the time. It's not like hypergamy is not a straitjacket. It doesn't mean that your girlfriend's going to cheat on you all the time, you know. But when you really look at all the differences, sometimes you can make sense of things. You can just be like, okay, that's why she slept with that guy on the first night. That's why I want to do this, you know. And I'm not saying it's ever the right thing. I'm just saying, when we see it, it's way cooler to look at society and say, okay, that's why all y'all are fucked up. Y'all are all fucked up because of this. It's way cooler
to say, this is why I know that you
Well, yeah, I want to know why, man. It's so cool to know why, instead of just be like, why did she cheat? You know, like he does a really good study on like cheating, especially in women, and it's like dual mating strategy or mate switching strategy. And like, when you look at those facts and you see it, it just feels a lot better. It makes you feel a lot better, especially if it happens to you.
20% or 30% of women that are cheating is a problem. No. When you have, that means that 70 to 75% of women are being loyal.
I don't think they're a problem. I think we just avoid them. Like, I teach guys to just avoid those women. So you want to catch the good ones when they get out of relationship.
If you like, this is what I'm saying. That's why you focus on the people that are doing what is right. So like, I told you I was a teacher. The one thing and I was a sales manager. One of the struggles that I had was trying to focus on the kid in the classroom that didn't get it. Mm-hmm. Okay, the kid that was a problem kid, right? But when I focused on somewhere in the middle and up, my class was totally different. Then I'm able to move through a lesson a lot faster. No different than in the sales industry. You don't focus on the bottom tier of people, right? When you focus on the bottom tier of people, which we're trying, that's kind of like what we're doing now, but we're also trying to reach those individuals that's thinking about this and trying to get a way out or trying to have an answer to this solution, right? So this conversation is for them. This conversation is not necessarily for the individual that's like, listen, I'm just gonna be a hoe. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just going to sleep with as many women and as many dudes as I want to. This conversation is about, okay, listen, guys have this fear that you're going to be disloyal. You're not going to be loyal to him sexually, right? We have that fear. We also have the fear that you're going to leave us just for no reason, right? So that's a good conversation to have. Same, and then on the woman's side, her fear is that you're going to be disloyal to her, that you're going to misuse the leadership title to say that she needs to be submissive, right? But a woman is going to be, and to add to that, a woman is going to be submissive if you do a good job of leading. Yeah. That's just my personal opinion.
Oh, dude, no, I completely, like, one of the biggest things I always say is a woman falls into her role when you're the man that you're supposed to be.
When you're playing your role.
Yeah. But how many guys play their role today? You know, like, most of them suck and they just don't play their role correctly. It all goes back to provisioning, like I always say. Correct. I really think, so, like, this is actually a good kind of thing because you said your wife is a business owner, right?
Yeah.
So, like, how does the, like, provisioning work out with y'all? Like, is it, like, do you feel like there's ever an issue with her making good money, or is it not ever an issue? Like, do you not think hypergamy is even an issue in y'all's relationship?
Well, and for me, I'm good at budgeting, right? And so
that's attractive, yeah.
And so she values that,
yeah.
Right? So she, I guess a bragging moment, but not trying to. But when she met me, I have my own house. You know what I'm saying? I had 2 cars paid off. You know what I'm saying? And I have 4 kids, right? And I still am able to manage my finances, right? And so she saw that, right? And she wanted that to be one of the things that she enjoyed and liked about me, right? So with her money, she's like, oh, okay, you did that with yours, then I'm sure. And this is the conversation she had with me. You know what I'm saying? So, baby, if you don't like me having this conversation,
I'm sorry.
You know what I'm saying, just let me know.
We're sorry.
But she was like, I think you can help me maximize because I've seen what you've done, what you had. Because I'm not a 6-figure earner. You know what I mean? But I'm really good at managing money, right? I know how to make sure that all bills are paid, make sure that my credit cards are what they're supposed to be, as well as I use the Dave Ramsey method to a degree. So
so you like max out your savings, or do you do tax deferred savings or not really? Or he doesn't teach tax deferred savings. He says I make sure save your money and pay cash for everything, right?
Yeah, that's what
he teaches. Yeah,
I try to do that. I mix my principles. Don't get me wrong. Like everything that he says is not gold because it'll get you. It's a slow road to wealth, and if that's what you want to do, that's cool. My best friend does that, right? And so he's out of debt, right? So it worked for him. So, but I'm in real estate. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different type of ballgame. But to answer the question, she doesn't have an issue with me being in charge of the finances because I've proven myself to do well with it.
See, that's dope. Like that's what I feel like if I was with a woman that was like making good money, like not that I would expect her to let me do the finances or anything, but I would feel very good about the situation if I was controlling the finances. I bet that feels pretty fucking good, honestly, bro.
Oh man, don't.
I'm not saying it like that. I'm just saying.
You are saying.
I'm just saying. I would feel a little bit.
I'm
just being honest. I would feel a little bit emasculated, and I would get that. I would get that masculine back. I feel like I would feel more masculine if she let me have that power back in that way. That's it. That's all it is.
So that's good that you say that. That's a good point. The reason why I say it's a good point is because most people don't want you to see their money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And shout out to Babe when she let me see her money and then I was able to let her see my money, the dynamics were different. That showed a different level of trust that she had.
How soon did y'all do that? See, me personally, I like to be really upfront and honest about finances very early. And I actually teach the women to somehow I try to teach the women to somehow get it out of the guys that they go on dates with without sounding like a gold digging jerk, you know? So like it's just really hard to it's really hard for the women to ask that without instantly
seeing how we man, I think I did a bad job of letting her know. Like I was unsure because I'm going into a market and I'm hearing all of this is what's going on.
Yeah.
And that and this is how
you're like,
women
this
are.
is scary.
So I'm like, I told her how much I think I told her that I had enough money to last me a certain amount of time, right? And so at the time I wasn't working, because I was homeschooling my kids. I had just lost my late wife or whatnot, and so I hadn't figured it out really, you know what I'm saying? And so she was still willing to rock with me, right? But she also seen that I didn't have to ask nobody for money. I was able to pay all my bills, and she saw that. So then I want to say month number 4 is probably when it's probably month number 4 that we had the conversation about like what the finances like, when what is your money like,
That's a good timing, I feel
so
like.
that's when we had it. And then and so when we had that conversation, it was a really solid conversation. And then later on, she was willing to, like I said before, she was willing to let me in on her financials specifically, like let me see her bank account, right? Which I have to admit that was huge for her, and I don't think I did a good job of appreciating that. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to another thing to men: make sure you appreciate the things that she does, because that allows her to see that you actually are loving her in that way.
Yeah, because I mean, shit, I would definitely show appreciation about something like that, bro.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I've never had anybody do that for me, so that would feel really fucking crazy.
For sure.
Let me see, traditional and modern talks. What's up, bro? 2 reasons divorce happens: infidelity or extramarital affairs, communication problems like intimacy, financial issues, and disagreements. I thought financial was at the top.
Mm-mm.
Toby Yaden, what's up? Divorce is not an option. Discussions don't mean the other person will keep their word. Divorce is not. Yeah. How did y'all do? Did y'all say divorce is not an option for y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like
I
y'all.
mean, we said the I mean, his statement is a true statement, but if your mindset is there to say divorce is not an option, we're gonna work through this, you have a better chance than when you say that if you that divorce is an
It's why
option.
you need counseling before you get
Yeah,
married.
and we had counseling.
1,000%.
We had counseling.
Yeah, if you don't do counseling, you're making a huge mistake
And
getting
you
married
need to
today.
do counseling during.
During, yeah, 1,000%, because there's gonna be shit that comes up and y'all gonna disagree, and sometimes she's gonna think you're right, or sometimes you're gonna think you're right, and you need a middle person to tell you
That's a
you're
fact.
both wrong.
That's a fact.
I don't know if that ever happens, but that'd be funny.
Yes, our counselor, man, that's how it was for us. He told us, he was like, you need to do this, and this is how she's feeling, and he was like, well, you also need to see this from his perspective, and this, and then he gave us a booklet that we didn't do. So we should have did the booklet.
You should have did the book.
Yeah.
For differences in values and beliefs, domestic violence, abuse, and other forms of mistreatment, incompatibility, and growing apart. Oh wow, it's so long. Substance abuse and addiction, mental health problems, lack of commitment and dedication to the relationship. I did not know there was this long of a list for the divorce reason. Sexual incompatibility. I can't believe that's last though. That's crazy.
Thank you.
Sexual
that debunks your
incompatibility.
statement.
Man, shout out to Humble Dad for coming on the panel tonight. Yes, shout out to him, bro.
Shout
Our special Sunday show, guys. We never do a little Sunday one. We always do Saturdays, but thank you for coming tonight.
That's what's up.
I really appreciate you, dude. No, this was a really good interview, bro. Like I said, we have way more in common than we have in difference, and that's why we're gonna do way more here in Dallas than people are doing in Miami and Vegas and LA and any of these other places where they're doing shows. Because they all want to make money off of talking shit to each other and like run, you know how they do hit pieces just to like make money off shit.
Yeah.
Dallas, we ain't gonna be doing that shit, man. We're gonna like if we have most things in common, we're gonna. It really bothers me about politics and just change and stuff because we're all mostly right. Like we all are mostly like in agreement on a lot of things. It's like let's not let these few little things keep us from like the masses, like because we're not going to be able to change the world or change anything if we don't come together today. Like, and it's because the internet and so many different subgroups and subreddits and shit, like it's so easy for you to just become so individualized to your little group that makes you feel happy. And it's just like I'm so about just pushing that shit back, man.
Well, you got to change if you want to make change, you definitely got to start it with the young ones.
Oh yeah, man, and that's the biggest goal is hopefully we can get some young women on here and change them before they're ruined. Before
they're ruined.
I'm telling you,
but
man.
I know it's crazy to say, but I think older women could change.
I agree with you.
The challenge is, in my estimation, from talking to some older women, is that they it's a trauma that's there, and they haven't went to counseling in my estimation. And because of the trauma is that they've dated some bad dudes, and they don't really know what a good one look like, and so because they don't know what a good one looks like, then when he does come around, since they don't know what he look like, he gonna treat
He's invisible.
He's invisible.
He's literally invisible.
Or she's gonna treat him exactly like the other dudes.
Piece of shits. Yeah, the alphas.
Yeah.
It's a really vicious cycle, bro. But like, hey, they need guys telling them what to do more now than ever. Though I'm telling you, they don't have guys in their lives sometimes, or they just don't have brothers or anything. So they need guys to like help them out, especially the ones that like that lady where she was kept going to her girlfriends and her girl family members. It's like you haven't noticed a little issue there yet.
She was very contradictory. You know what I'm saying? Very contradictory.
The whole show, yeah, that was crazy.
Y'all called her out. I was very impressed by the other women though. The younger women were in. I mean, they were. I talked a lot, right? But I talked a lot because they didn't seem to want to debate with her,
yeah,
right? Because they seem to have a have you watched the playback?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, and the body language of the other women, they was like, I don't really like what she's saying, and if she's gonna talk to me like that, it's not gonna be the same.
Yeah, that's what it turns into a club, bro. Like where there's like you're on this side or you're on this side. It's really different from Fresh and Fit because usually on Fresh and Fit there's like a bunch of girls on the host side and then like one or two that are maybe like, yeah, I don't agree with y'all.
Yeah,
but like I really try to. I made this show. I wanted to prove that. We're not Miami. We're not Las Vegas. We're in Dallas, Texas. Okay. There's gonna be some normal women here, and I want to show it off. We need because if you hear any of these other shows, they really like say all women are hoes, all women are like this. Look at Fresh and Fit. Look at whatever podcast. It's like, bro, those podcasts are in places that are filled with those. Like it's a demographic, like where they're at, type of thing. Like my girlfriend has never gone to Miami for a girls' trip, and she's just not the type of girl that would even want to do that. Yeah, it's just like. So you're leaving out those good women that are able to be found. They completely leave those girls out. Like they don't even see them. It's like I know tons of them in Dallas. Like I teach a type of game that nobody else teaches here in Dallas, and it's because like I've always had like a really good like dating history. Like I've always found like really good feminine women, I guess. And I realized that most guys they really end up dating like the girls on dating apps or like. The girls that are like at the clubs and then they're like, oh, they're all hoes. And it's like, nah, you kind of like, that's what you kind of just swiped on the girl that everybody else swiped on, or like she had the ass pick out and you literally followed her for it. Like what were you thinking? You fell for the bait.
Yeah. I think I was just very fortunate. You know what I'm saying?
You probably are fortunate.
I'm very fortunate, to strike gold with my lady, because, in the way we met, it doesn't make any sense.
Especially debating, bro. That doesn't make no sense because usually you're marked off for life if you do that online with a girl. I'm serious. Exactly. You are.
Exactly. And for me, I prayed. Like me, I had prayed. Because I had dated a little bit, like not like what most people do, but I had, I guess, went into the water, so to speak, to see how it was. And I was like, I'm not going to spend all my money. I'm not like, this is going to be expensive, this dating thing, right? And I prayed. I wrote down things that I really wanted in a woman, and understood some things that I wouldn't be able to have just because it would be a different season in my life, right? And probably like 2 days later, here I am talking to this woman. And so we have differences, but the thing about it is that we have I guess our ground and our foundations are the same, and so we kind of build on those things.
I think that's all that matters sometimes, man. I don't care. It's about I call it a connection. Like it's not about compatibility. You can become more compatible. Like you can like Stephen Speaks talks a lot about this, but it's the connection that's a rare thing. And like if you build a connection, like you only have a connection with a couple people in your life it's easy to find like all those other things, but I think that a connection is rare. So like a prop to you if you found one.
Yeah. Just to add to that, I don't know how much time we got, but to add to that, when you're saying connections, what you said, it really feels like me and Kendra have known each other for a while. No disrespect to, my late wife or anything like that. It just feels like we've known each other for a while. We both are from Dallas. Crazy. You want to hear crazy stuff? Yeah. My brother and her never met each other. 234 mutual friends.
On Facebook? What the hell? That's crazy.
Crazy.
That's like
you don't
a small
know no
world.
More, but it's a lot of different coincidences that was like, man, when did we see each other before? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
y'all probably walked past each other multiple times and you never met each other.
Yeah. So that's just one of many. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
a very small world, man. No, I'm so happy to have you on,
I
dude.
appreciate you.
I really hope that we can bridge this gap between like the red pill and the Tricon community, so we could take over the world over, especially take over Dallas over the next few years. Actually, shout out to Nuke. What's up, bro? Thank you for coming by, man. He's another Dallas guy.
That's what's up.
One of our Dallas Red Pillars, man. No, thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you so much for coming, bro. This was one of my favorite interviews because we don't get to break down like the Tricon Red Pill barriers enough. Like I need to have like Sir Hill on for one of these interviews. Like I haven't got to do this talk enough with enough people. But yeah, we need to do this more, bro. I can't wait to have you back on the show. Hopefully, guys, we have him back on in the next like 2 or 3 weeks. Hopefully, if he can come on for a night panel, help school these girls a little bit. we got to teach them a little something.
That's
what's up. Guys, we really appreciate y'all for coming. I will see y'all tomorrow night on the Monday night show. Wednesday I have a special guest. I don't think I have one for Monday yet, but if I do, we'll see y'all tomorrow, guys. Peace out.